Hello! Welcome to Anime Mystics. I'm Roman, and tonight I am watching Fate Grand Order Babylonia Episode 20. So we have one more episode left, which means we'll probably be wrapping up the fight this week. At least that's what I'm assuming. Um, so last episode, really crazy episode, started off where we ended episode 19 with Gorgon finding out that it was Anna who had just taken Gorgon's form to help them destroy Tiamat's horn, the one of the horns that was allowing her to fly, or more hover, I would say. Since Quetzalcoatl had cracked it, she finished it off using her noble phantasm, and then she died right afterwards. Used up all of her energy in order to do it. That didn't stop her, however, because Tiamat could still create the black mud, so that's all she did and just kept moving. They made it to Gilgamesh, who's on top of the ziggurat, I believe is how you pronounce it. And he unleashes all of his dingers, I think is what they're called, like and fires off all of them. Things like 300, I think it was like 360. He's firing all of them off using his magical energy, just continuously. Which is his noble phantasm when he's a caster servant. So yeah, we got to see his noble phantasm, even though he's not a servant right now. And while he's doing that, Tiamat tries to take out Fujimaru, but Gilgamesh gets in the way and takes the blow, leaving a big hole in his side. But he continues firing off the dingirs, or however you pronounce it. While that's going on, Ishtar is trying to fight off the Lamu, but there's so many of them that she can't do it the way she's been doing, using just the gun, she's like pointing. So she was going to release, I guess, a whole bunch of her energy to do a special attack. But before she could, Kingu showed up and used his chains to kill a bunch of them, and then just destroyed a ton of them. And basically, we find out that I guess ever since he's been in that body, Enkidu's body, he's been wanting to talk to Gilgamesh because his body remembers their friendship, and he wants to go and talk to him and tell him about everything that he's like feeling, like from the what his body is telling him and stuff like that. So he ends up using his noble phantasm. It doesn't kill Tiamat, but it holds her into place, like keeps her from moving forward, giving Ereshkigal enough time to finish what she's doing down in the underworld. And then they have Ishtar fire her noble phantasm to punch a hole into the ground to send Tiamat down into the underworld. Once she gets there, let's see, Mash and Fujimaru are falling down, and Ereshkigal gives them basically like a special privilege. She allows them to be pretty much seen as not living people, so that they can float in the underworld and they don't like die. So while she's explaining this, Tiamat is down there getting attacked by these like lightning, this lightning coming out from the ground. It's apparently an authority where any living creature that does not have her permission to be down there gets attacked like this. It's a security like measure. And then she uses one of her attacks, which hurts her, but doesn't really do much, because then Tiamat just covers herself in the mud, and brings herself back, I think they said, to the Jurassic period, where she's basically a huge dinosaur dragon thing. Uh, and then she starts taking over the underworld with her black mud. And not looking good until Merlin shows up, turning all of the mud into flowers, but doesn't really do much else. And then he introduces the Grand Class Servant that was summoned, uh, first Hassan, and yeah, it ended that point. So I am looking forward to this episode. So let's just get into it. See if the fight is actually going to end this time. I'm pretty sure it is, and the next episode will probably just be the wrap up. Alright, so video is going to be located over here, and the link to the reaction is going to be in the description down below. Open that before we start. Alright. And we're going to start this episode in 3, 2, 1.